Hello, everyone, and welcome again to our emotional intelligence and career transition session, where myself, Denise Farquharson, emotional intelligence coach, and Tara is with me today again. Hi, Tara. If you want to
Hello,
introduce
hello.
yourself.
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. And if you could just introduce yourself, and we'll get started with this neat topic for today.
Yes, hello again. I am Dr. Tara Hines McCoy, and I am your career coach, helping women, professional women in all industries to make the decision to go up in the organization or out to a new opportunity.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tara. And what Tara and I do together is that we put both of our skills and talk and offer tips and strategies in a 10-minute boost just for you to be able to grab hold of that, use it for your career transition. And today we're talking about if you're in a situation where your career transition is forced or is it paced, then how do you use emotional intelligence to make it work for you, make it happen, and make that transition as smooth as possible? Now, when we were thinking about this particular topic, one of the things that came to my mind was actually whether it's forced or paced. And I really like Tara's take on this as well, in terms of how you would define forced or paced. But please do pick up on that after when I pass over to you, Tara. But one thing to consider is if it's forced or paced, see it as an opportunity. That's the first thing I would absolutely tell anybody, because it can give you some real insights into your personal and professional growth. You will see and identify some strengths in you that you would have never ever noticed ever before. So if it's forced, it could sometimes create stress, sometimes create demotivation, and sometimes it can create conflict as well. All things that are not always seen as positive, but can be real positive drivers for the opportunities that can come your way. And if it's paced, then obviously it will allow you an opportunity to really put a roadmap together, a journey of some shape or form to help you get to the next level in your career. So, Tara, tell us more about the forced and the paced and your take on it in terms of control.
Yes, thank you for asking that question. And we were talking earlier. I am always inclined to say whether it is forced or if it's by choice. But choice is also translated to forced or paced. And in doing that, it's really important to assess the factors that are really driving the change and the level of control that you have in that situation really determines if it is a forced or paced changed. And so when you think about it being forced, you may feel that, well, not even feel, the company may be going through some change, whether that's restructuring, whether that's job loss, there may be financial difficulties, and you may not have initiated the change because it's not voluntary. You have to just really fall in place and make this change because of things that are going on. However, if it's by choice or if it's a pace change, it's always and typically, I would say, driven by your own desires, your own aspirations. You want or have chosen to go on a new career path. You're thinking about a career that better aligns with your long term goals or your values. But the key here is that you are being proactive, you are driving the change, and that change is really driven by who and where you are in that point in your career. And so that's really important, I believe, to set the foundation of understanding that control piece really determines if it's forced or if it's choice or paced.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because if it is forced, then sometimes it does actually create a level of where you will not feel as self-aware as you would normally be. And so, I'd really encourage anybody who's listening to this on a replay that just tap into how you're feeling. And I remember my husband always says to me, never make a major decision in the height of emotion. And usually that height of emotion gets higher and higher and higher
Mhm.
if you are in a forced situation like
Yes.
Tara has described. Whereas if it's a paced situation, then you can still be self-aware. But guess what? Your motivation to the transition is much more focused, logical, planned, developed. And so do be aware of what you are sensing and what you are feeling. And that's when I mentioned before that actually, rather than it just being empathetic towards the situation, I'd like you to be empathetic towards yourself. Have
Yes.
personal empathy, a time where you take time out to look at the self care that needs to be wrapped around your mind, your heart, your feelings, because these things will cause you to make wrong choices. But when you are really and truly self aware about it and really apply that self care, then that empathy can actually heighten your awareness. It will also heighten the fact that actually you can cope with this situation, however it is, forced or paced, and it will cause you to go into a new space of really analyzing, thinking through, checking in with your values, and really being aware of how you then project how you're feeling. And so, yeah, it's crucial that you don't make a major decision in the height of emotion. So, Tara, tell us more about the roadmap that you tend to use with your clients.
And before I even jump into that, I think it's just a really good call out to give yourself empathy because many times we don't give ourselves the grace that we deserve and that we really need during times of chaos, during times of change. And the reality is, if it's a forced change and it's out of my control because I don't control the things that are going on, there's a lot of emotion playing in there. That's an emotionally challenging time. Many times it can lead to stress and anxiety, definitely uncertainty because we feel so connected to the jobs and the work that we do. And that's one of the things that I typically take a deep dive into to help clients to understand that you are not the work that you do, that you are a whole person over here. You show up differently when you walk through the door, but you're definitely not the work that you do. And being able to separate feeling that loss of who you are because your job or has changed, the landscape looks a lot different. However, if it's a choice, or if it's a pace change, you're excited. There you are emotionally driven by the things that are coming, that are coming up or that you're planning for. But the most important thing is that you feel like the choice that you're making now aligns with your goals and your aspirations. So it's a new direction. It gives you that excitement. You're full of anticipation, and so those emotions are quite different than if it's something that is forced. And so I think it's really a definitely a great call out to give yourself empathy because many times we don't think about empathizing with ourselves at all. And so as it relates to into a roadmap, it's really about evaluating how prepared you are for the change. And whether it's by choice or by force, it doesn't matter because it's important that you put together a plan that keeps you on the track or the new direction in which you may be going into. However, if it's a track or if it's an unfamiliar place and you're really unsure on how to plan or how to prepare, that's where we come in and we work with you differently, but under the same umbrella of really being intentional and being deliberate about and thoughtful, I would say, about the choices that you make going forward that really accompany or really highlight the skills and the knowledge and experience that you have to go up or out of the organization.
Because absolutely, career transition is a project within itself, but it can't be
Yes.
ruled by feelings. It has to be ruled by strong leadership, emotional intelligence traits, or else you probably don't want to see the result. The result could be great, but it could be greater if it's
Mhm.
done well. Okay. So thank you, Tara. That's great insight as ever. Thank you for giving people the guidance as to what to do next. And those of you who do want to connect with us, follow us, subscribe, then please do so, because you'll see a whole host of information, strategies, tips that we're leaving with you around emotional intelligence and career transition, because it's a global activity that's still
Mhm.
happening every
Yes,
day within
yes,
organizations, right? All over the world, in the UK and also in the USA, right? Um,
absolutely.
Indeed, indeed. So please do follow us, and please do send some comments through, or any questions that you may have of us, Denise at denisesparkelson.com and drtaraspeaks.com. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to speaking to you again. Take care. Bye bye.